Hello everybody, my name is Sebastian.
I'm Elen.
And you are watching right now first episode of our brand new series, Destination Eurovision Memories. And with us, one and only, phenomenal and loved by many, Zoe from Austria 2016. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Zoe, thank you so much for joining us. And our plan is to start with something which stay in the mind of many people all around the world. So we're gonna once again watch your performance from Stockholm 2016. Lights go out, and your 3 minutes in the grand final of Eurovision Song Contest started. What's in your mind on this very moment after many months of participation and waiting?
I don't really know. I think it was kind of like excitement, but also blank. Like I was shaking. I think you can see that I'm a bit shaky, but it was just the whole feeling because like the audience is amazing. And yeah, it's just, I wasn't that kind of like afraid at all. I was very happy to be there because the audience was cheering and it gives so much energy. And I wasn't thinking about like being live in front of so many viewers on television. I didn't think about that at that moment. I just really enjoyed. And I remember at the day before there were the judges. So I was really trying to like give my best vocally, but that night, like the grand final, I was just really enjoying every moment and having so much fun and remembering those things with the flowers. And I just really enjoyed it. It was amazing.
What did you like the most about the performance? Like, is there anything that you would change if you had the opportunity to?
I mean, I always wanted to wear like kind of big gown like this and live my princess dream, but of course also my professional dream of being at Eurovision. So I think like already by standing there in the grand final, that was like my goal. Because I was scared that I would like be eliminated in the semi-final, because that was a thing back then with Austria. You never knew, it wasn't a sure entry to be for the grand final. So when that was achieved, I was just already living the dream. So that was already what I wanted. That's why I was kind of relaxed, because I didn't think about I need to be in the top 5 or top 10 or top 15. I didn't care about that. I was just, okay, maybe not last, but just to be there in the grand final was already enough satisfaction for me, and to show this performance to so many people. And I was just living the dream right now in that moment. I mean, I obviously enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Perfect. So please tell me, how many points from 1 to 10 you will give yourself and your team for this presentation?
The team for the presentation, I mean, I can give those kind of points. I couldn't rate myself because I'm pretty sure I would. I just can't. That's a weird thing to do, but I think I was happy with my performance. I didn't listen to it that many times because it's always weird to watch yourself on stage. What I really liked to watch actually was when they gave out the points from the televote, and I already thought like it was not going well with the judges' votes, and I was not down, but I was just waiting there, drinking my white wine, being like, come on, there has to be something. And then I remember the points in that moment when I rewatch it, when I just stood up and the whole arena was cheering for me. I watched sometimes maybe, but not my performance. But I think because we had this vision about this dreamy fairy tale style, which was not meant to look realistic, but like kind of in a supernatural way. And I think that the team they achieved it very well. I loved my outfit, I loved the hair, I loved the little crown thing. So I was very happy and I felt very comfortable. But I could never rate. Like it's just too. I don't know. Maybe like. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. It's too hard to do that.
Okay, we understand it very well. Don't worry at all. The one of the most original and retaste performances from the Eurovision history. Many people said this, so congratulations once again, because we have 2020 and we're still coming back, many of us, to watch it once again. All right, so right now we're gonna start with the questions which were asked by your fans, by our editorial team. We have some of them. So let's go through once again from memory lane.
What would be the most funny story from your time at Eurovision?
Like something funny that happened. I'm just trying to remember.
Or what did you
There
find
were
funnier?
so many things happening everywhere, but I don't know if I can tell this, but you know, like we were like with, I'm just gonna be honest now. I'm old enough to talk about stuff like that. I have a child, but back then it was like professional singers everywhere, like being very strict, only drinking water and tea. And I remember like the Austrian delegation, there was like no, I don't know if I like everybody was really, really, really strict with like not drinking alcohol or not smoking. And I was a bit of a bad girl. Like maybe it didn't look like that because I was there in my princess dress with my crown, all in pink, and I had like a little glass of wine and a cigarette. And for me, there was just like nobody thought that like the Disney princess girl is gonna be standing there. No, I'm not nervous. So that was not on the grand final, of course, but during the I don't know if I should have told that story, but yeah, that was the truth, and I think it's okay. So I'm fine, and it was fun. So I didn't get drunk, just to make it clear, but just like a little zip sometimes. I think it's okay.
Nobody won't implicate it to you, so don't worry. So don't worry at all. How about the most emotional moment from this whole time of Eurovision 2016?
For me personally, I mean, it was getting into the grand final because so many, like you had these interviews every day, everybody saying, oh, do you think you're going to be in the final? And always being scared because you never knew, like the betting odds were changing and you just didn't know. Nobody knew for sure. And all this just joy, like finally being able to like relax somehow, because the others who went to the final, they were like, oh God, now I have to be top 5, because they were like pretty high up in the betting odds. But for me and for some other contestants who were just like, yeah, we made it. Like I remember we just celebrated as if we would have won, because that was just like, well, amazing. And I remember, I think I cried there because I couldn't believe it, and I was just really emotional. And final was just a lot of fun. It was just really, but the semi-final, the relief to just finally be in. No, and there was another moment when I was in the Eurovision Cafe, and for the first time, I think, because I mean, I sang in Austria, but nobody cared that much back there. And then finally, I started singing Rond Ici, and I remember the people just taking over the crowd and even knowing the lyrics to like the chorus as well, but the whole song in French. And I was just like so I think there were many videos, and then people started screaming my name, and I cried because I felt like a superstar for one night, and that was just a wonderful feeling. But also with always in the back of my head, it's Eurovision. Back at home, it's not going to be like that, but just enjoy the moment. Yeah.
What was your favorite rehearsal and why?
I think, not very spectacular story, but the first time we had our in-ears, because we all had like in-ears where we heard the music and the voice and everything, because you have to wear them. And I remember the first time when I got backstage to get this checked out, to rehearse for the first time with the in-ears. And I know that's always pretty hard to find the right, how do you say, like a little reverb on the voice, and everything should be perfect. And I thought, oh my God, because I don't like in-ears because it's so hard and you don't feel the audience, you don't hear yourself from outside, you just hear yourself, and it usually takes a long time to put it in the right way so that the singer is satisfied. But I remember going in there, and it was already, the preset was like perfect, because they knew what singers wanted, what they need to hear. And for me, that was just, oh my God, this is like so professional. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it was so much fun. Yeah. So that was my favorite rehearsal, actually.
Most memorable, interesting question or interview you have in this time?
I mean, I have to admit, like after some time, it was mostly like the questions kind of were repeated, because everybody wanted to know, are you nervous? You're going to perform in front of 200,000 people, a million people, God. Still unbelievable. Are you nervous? How do you feel? What do you expect? But it was always fun, because the interviewers were like personalities. It wasn't just like somebody who didn't care, because you just know when you're in the Eurovision community, everybody who works there, they're really interested. It's not just like, how do you feel? What are your goals? That they just really care. So all the questions were kind of, it wasn't boring, although it was most of the time like similar. But I really enjoyed it. I cannot really point out one interesting question. I think now like the most like question I heard the most was why in French. That was like the main question. And so I realized in one interview they didn't ask me that. I don't remember which one, but I just loved that they didn't ask me, because I was like already, because anyways you always try to refresh, to say it in a fresh way, to not be boring, but after a time you ran out of new ways to explain why you sang in French. Like the answer was like, I don't know. It just happened. And so yeah, but I can't really pick out one particular question that was like, I mean, of course there were some harsher questions which are always interesting to answer, because then you can like say, okay, you trying to get me to say something that I maybe don't want to say, and you just have a bit fun to go around and turn the question, but it's usually stressful. So but I actually really enjoyed giving the interviews, because I like to talk, as you can tell by talking to me. Like I'm pretty comfortable talking. Yeah.
Were there any memories from the Eurovision red carpet that like stand out for you?
Yeah, like before the red carpet, I I think I told that story, although, because everybody had like somebody to come with the delegation who would do your like your makeup or your hair, and I didn't have that with me. I had other people, because I had my boyfriend and my whole family, so it wasn't. So I had to do my hair and my makeup myself, and I was very nervous because I was like almost too late, and then I wanted to like use my hairspray, and it actually was shaving foam from my boyfriend, and I put that in my hair, and then it was all sticky. And I was like, oh my god, like I only have like half an hour to go there, and I just brushed it out, and everybody was looking perfectly, and I had like little bits of shaving foam in my hair, but I guess still really enjoyed it. And sorry, that was my cat. And also, yeah, I really loved the dress. It was like, I mean, the dresses for me, I remember I thought, oh my god, I'm overdressed, but actually it just went with the whole idea of my song, and of me like being there at that moment. I was like feeling that princess vibe. I mean, but I was like, am I really overdressed? Because everybody was like so elegant, and I was there in my big gown, princess, poofy, but I loved it. So I felt comfortable. I think it would be weird if you wouldn't feel comfortable in it, but it was my choice. So yeah, it was really cool.
You already touched this topic a little bit, but I will ask again. Everybody who was going to Eurovision have some things in his mind. What in their mind? What they're gonna saw? What Eurovision looks like behind the scene? But what's your memories and what's your feelings when you, for the first time, see how this big machine working?
I mean, I don't know how it was the other years, because I believe that in Stockholm everything was very organized. Apparently in Vienna it was like that as well, but I don't know, because I wasn't there. But I can imagine like in other countries, maybe because of course Sweden is used to hosting the song contest. They've done it so many times, and you just saw, and also like what I saw, like the Swedish people were very much like German and Austria, like very organized with everything and being punctual and always on time and everything. So that was really professionally organized, and it was security was like it was always like a big thing to go to pass through the security, also to go to the Eurovision cafe. I remember once they wouldn't let us through because they had my dress in a big bag, and they didn't believe us that it was, I don't know, a dress from the show. So it was very, very, very organized and very strict, which is good because you have to be careful. But like my first impression was like, it was crazy because you went in there in this big hall where there were like some boxes for every country, for every delegation, and everybody was just singing their songs like constantly, because practice, of course you do that, that's normal, but it's just being in a room with so many talented people and you just hear ooh, all the time, and it was crazy. I had Armenia close to me, so that's what I heard. And it was so much live, so much music, so much energy. But I remember I couldn't stop. I went crazy with Ronnie C because I just wanted to keep it fresh. And you already sang it so many times, so I started like always when I was rehearsing my voice, just warming up. I sang some Beatles songs with my dad just to bring a bit of a change, because by a point song and it's nice, but yeah, I mean, it was too much Ron DC for me after one point, and I still wanted to enjoy being on stage.
Yeah.
But everything was really, I mean, the delegations, it was separated. Like, it was not that easy, I think, for me to build, like, really, like, talk to everybody, because it was delegation. And of course, I had, like, kind of my family with me, my boyfriend and my dad. So forming relationships, because every second is planned. You have to be there, you have to be there, you have to be there. You don't have really, because usually you think there's so many singers and musicians there, you should, like, talk to each other because you're all in the same, you're all experiencing the same thing. But actually there wasn't that much time to do that, which is kind of sad, because I'm pretty sure that we would all have gotten along very well together, because we're all inspired musicians being in Eurovision, so you have a lot to talk about. But yeah, but I have a very great and fond memory of the whole backstage thing, because yeah, it was I liked I liked the Austrian delegation. I felt comfortable. I felt very I don't know, I liked it. But of course there were some artists, for them it was too much, the whole interview, the whole, like, everybody wanting something from you. But I was in such a bubble, it just kind of worked, and I enjoyed it. I don't know. Yeah.
Was there anyone specifically that you did manage to form, like, some sort of friendship relationship with? And, like,
I mean, the thing is, what sometimes happens is that like, things are not staged, but you try to get a picture of, like, 3 artists, and, like, for the picture, and then it's super awkward, because after the picture, like, hi, I'm Zoe, and it's like, yeah, hi, I'm Ella, and then it's just kind of, what do we say? Because it's such an unnatural way to meet people, through taking a picture together or an interview together. But I remember, like, Polly, we saw her also years later on a Eurovision party, and then we kind of managed to finally, like, party together and get to know each other. So that was a lot of fun. It was in Madrid. And who else? Like, I mean, it also depended, like, I think Cyprus was, like, the band, and we kind of bonded because they were smoking as well.
Great way to bond.
Oh God, I'm too honest. And I don't know, like, it wasn't that easy, because you didn't have so much time. But later, when we met other contestants from Austria that I met later, like Nathan, or also Conchita, of course, we managed through other events to get to know each other more. And then you see, okay, you have so much in common, because you've all been through a similar experience. Of course, not Conchita, because they went way bigger, but still. Back then there was so much happening. I don't know how it was for other people, but for me, like, I would lie if I would say yes, I'm best friends with Francesca, because we couldn't be bonding because there was no time. But I'm sure if I met one of them now, like, private and just through another event, there would be a lot of talk, because we have so much in common, kind of, because we experienced the same thing.
People organizing Eurovision concert, you know what to do right now. Please invite Zoe and other artists to make a band. This is the #1 rule from this interview. All right, maybe tough question, but your favorite songs and performances from this Eurovision 2016 from other artists than you?
I wouldn't name myself anyway. Like, wait, let me think. Because I actually really, because I was in I'm having the Eurovision songs from this year in my head right now. So that's, of course, like, so I have to get back. But what did I mean, I love many of them. But I'm like mixing everything up because it's been so long. I mean, I love Polly's song. I love Bulgaria. I really like the pre-chorus. And I think that this year Bulgaria should have won. Like this year, like 2020. Like, that's my opinion, if you're gonna ask this, because it was my favorite. So back then it was already very good, and Polly was amazing. Then I love Francesca Micheline's song. I really like that. I really love because I like her music in general. I listened, because she gave us a CD, and then I listened to it in the car, and I really like her style of music. What else? Like, really, I should have prepared myself and re-listened to everything, but I'm sure I'm forgetting something important. But it's been 4 years, and there've been so many acts in between as well that like stood out, kind of, because they're more the talks. But yeah, I'm just gonna say Poli and Francesca, like Italy and Bulgaria, if that's okay. And I'm sorry for everybody else. I'm not reminding myself, but that's what comes to my mind.
What did the Eurovision journey like give you? What was like the biggest advantage or the disadvantage?
Okay. For me, I think I met so many people, and I just went through such a stressful time, which I realized that I really like that job, and I wouldn't mind having interviews and being I don't know, on stage and singing and working and being constantly somewhere. I actually realized, okay, that's really what I want to do, because of course I want to do that, but to experience for once just how it would be if it really worked out. So that for me was an advantage for myself. I think I've grown a lot through this time, because I mean, I was 19, so that's also, you never stop learning, but that's like a very important time, I feel. And disadvantage, I don't know, like for me, I'm also a lot into acting, and I've acted before. And I don't know if that's an Austrian thing, but for me, it was a bit harder after Eurovision to prove that I'm more than Eurovision. Like, of course, Eurovision is very big, but it's one part. But I'm also, when I do my concerts, there's no pink big dress, because that was me back then. That was what I loved to do. But of course, you're always transitioning, and I'm mostly wearing black when I'm on stage because it's flattering. And also it's just like more down, like it's so much smaller, and I like giving small concerts as well, because you have this very intimate feeling, which is something completely different from Eurovision. But what I realized is that you can get with, if you have 20 people or 2,000 people, it can be possible to create a similar energy. That's not the same, but a lot of energy. It's got to be a different one. But I'm glad that I experienced both of those energies, because it's always work between the audience and an artist. It's a collaboration. I don't know. One doesn't work without the other, and it's amazing to have seen that. But I kind of felt that 3 years after that, 2 years, it was for me a bit harder to, in Austria, say that yes, I went to Eurovision and it was amazing, but I also did film before, and I like it, and I think I can do it, so please give me a chance. And they were saying, yeah, no, but they don't want you because you've been at Eurovision. So that was like, why? It's like, isn't it good to be multiple things and to be on stage and to have experienced that? But I think now it's 4 years have passed, and the Eurovision community hopefully still remembers me. But I feel like in Austria, this it's kind of, I'm trying not to only be associated, because if somebody asks me about Eurovision, I'm very happy to talk about it. But I'm also happy, like in Austria, if somebody asks me about other projects, because I think one is more, and an artist is more than just one thing. And if it wouldn't be Eurovision, it would be something else. But it's such a huge thing. But I don't regret anything. Like, I would do exactly the same thing again, like if I was in 2016. And because I think, I don't know, because it does so much with and I really liked it, I have to say. Like, I think for some people it was hard afterwards, like, not I know of, but I'm pretty sure out of 40 people there are some that struggled. But for me it was really just very, very positive experience.
Please tell me, is there something shocking, interesting, surprising, some secret which you never ever told anybody in public about your Eurovision journey, and you can tell it right now? Is there anything like that?
There was already the smoking and wine thing before. I already gave my secret in the first 3 minutes. Wait, I have to think. Shocking. I had clip-in extensions, some. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know that, so that's shocking.
Make it more,
Yeah.
or something else. I really don't know. Like, sorry, it's not. No, my hair is like super messed up. Let me think. If there's something really embarrassing that I can entertain you with. There was something about. No, it wasn't. It's not that spectacular. It's just that I remember walking into the Eurovision cafe, and there was security, and there was a thing with the dress, and then they said they opened my bag, and I'm a very chaotic person. At least I was back then, and my bag is like a mess. And I started like a fight with, not a fight, but we started like having a disagreement about how somebody else is like going through my stuff, because it was a mess and I was so embarrassed, and also I didn't like that somebody was, because I was like, I can show you, I can do it, but like, no, you don't do it. But that's like not a very interesting story. But for me, that was like, I started a little this disagreement, a little fight with a security person, and yeah, they had trouble afterwards, I think. I don't know, but that's like the most day, like the but that's sorry, that's not a very entertaining story. Couldn't find anything else, but that stuck in my head somehow. Now it's out there. Yeah.
Bringing lots of cool stories for us, so don't worry about it
Yeah.
at all. Don't worry at all. And the last final question, because if you want to ask you, people will kill us. Is it possible from Zoe to come back to Eurovision anytime in the future?
I would never say never, like, but I'm scared of, not scared, but because I have this fond memory of the whole experience, and I actually really happy with my place and my points and everything, and it's good, you know. But what if the second time I couldn't be in the final, and that would be like, the Eurovision journey would like be in a bad memory, but damn it, I should have just not have done it the second time, because it was good the first time. So that's a bit of one of my I don't know, thoughts behind. And then of course, yeah, if people would be less narrow-minded about a person being a singer at Eurovision, and also many things, like maybe if I would have like already achieved a lot of things in other areas, then I think I'd be glad to go again, because it was amazing. But I think you need the right song, and you need to, and also, I don't know, right now I wouldn't go in a pink dress with flowers, you know. And I'm scared that people would be like disappointed, like, oh, it's Zoe here, oh, she's a mother and she's boring. I'm like, no, I'm just not feeling it, you know. It just has to be right. I just cannot pretend to be 19, and because I'm 23 now, I'm super old. No, but because it's just, no, I'm just, no, because I changed, and maybe you just have to feel it has to be right, because I think it could have looked really silly to pretend to be something that you're not. And so now I'll be like, I mean, I would still love to wear a dress, but like, I would be kind of pretending, I think, if I would do the same thing, because we all have changed. And I think all of the contestants from 2016 would have to change if they would go again, because like, you mature, you change your style, you change maybe your music, and I'm just scared of disappointing people, and disappointing myself, and trying to be something that I'm not anymore. So I don't know, but if everything, all of those things would like, I wouldn't care about all the things. I mean, it was a great experience. I would love to be again on such a big stage. But even doing Eurovision concerts and meeting people who still like remember and can sing along to the song, that's just, I'm very glad to do that as well, because it's reliving the moment without I don't know, being judged by so many people on the TV. So it's just like a really nice thing to do as well. I love the Eurovision parties, the hardcore fans. That's always a nice thing, I have to say.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the end of our material, unfortunately, but it was phenomenal, Zoe, and that's the first episode of YouTube series Destination Eurovision Memories. Thank you so much for your time. Check what Zoe doing in their free time. Of course, we congratulate you to become a mother. Hope that everything is going very, very fine with your child. And of course, we are waiting for some new music and new projects from you. Hopefully, very, very soon. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, hey.